Okay, so Piers Morgan, he's quit ITV and Good Morning Britain, and apparently Meghan Markle was one of the 41,000 people who did a formal complaint against him. And I think it's a bit unfair because this all happened because Piers said, "Oh, I wouldn't even believe Meghan if she gave me a weather report." But let's look into this because he actually clarified this on his Twitter. So I'll just play this little clip first.
We talked about this yesterday.
Oops, yeah.
I said, as an all-encompassing thing, I don't believe what Meghan Markle is saying
Exactly.
generally in this.
All encompassing. Like, in specific areas, he does believe her.
And I still have serious concerns about the veracity of a lot of what she said. But let me just state for the record about my position on mental illness, right? And on suicide. On mental illness and suicide, these are clearly extremely serious things that should be taken extremely seriously. And if somebody is feeling that way, they should get the treatment and the help that they need every time. Yes. And if they belong to an institution like the royal family and they go and seek that help, they should absolutely be given it. And if it turns out Meghan Markle, and it's not for me to question whether she felt suicidal. I wasn't in her mind, and that's for her to say. My real concern was a disbelief, frankly, and I'm prepared to be proven wrong on this, and if I'm wrong, it is a scandal, that she went to a senior member of the royal household, told them she was suicidal, and was told she could not have any help because it would be a bad look for the family. Yeah. If that is true, A, that person, if they're still there, should be fired, and B, the royal family have serious questions to be answered about how they handled it.
So there we go. So totally agree with Piers. Piers is in general pretty spot on with most things he says, and there's a precedent here as well. I think Charles. I think it was Charles had some mental illness problems and he got some help and it was all done behind closed doors and everything. So I think what happens with Meghan is she likes to create a cause out of everything. So maybe she demanded, she does this publicly or something to raise the awareness of mental illness, saying help the charity and that. Maybe they just didn't want that happening. Who knows? We don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much on this. So basically, Piers should not have got sacked, or he left. He left basically. He says, "Well, if I can't speak my own mind, I'm just going to go," sort of thing, So, what's next? That's right. I was going to show you this interesting Dalai Lama quote that I love to live my life by. When you think everything is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. When you realize that everything springs only from yourself, you will learn both peace and joy. From the Dalai Lama. And that's so true. If you look at any hardship in your life, you can look back and it was a decision that you made. You could have made a different decision, and changed the course. And that's true of everything. Who you date, what job you choose to do, whether you wag school. Most of the things aren't by chance. You have some and anything bad that happens, it's how you react to it. That's your choice how you react to things as well. So it's all got sort of choices, and the choices only come from you. You can't change other people's behaviour. You can only change your own behaviour. So very very good quote. I don't really meditate on it, but I sort of have that in the back of my mind when things happen. And the other interesting one I've got here is basically showing up that Meghan lies again, because I did a big video on because that's what Piers was saying as well. We'll go to that video. I will go full screen because I will get copyright ID'd if I show the video, but we'll play the audio like we did with Oprah's interview as well. So this is Piers Morgan. He's having a bit of a tussle with Alex Beresford. Apparently he's a weatherman in the UK, and mixed race, and so everything was race related through the lens of racism, according to Alex. And Piers was sort of boo-hooing it a bit. So let's have a listen to how it went down, because I was trying to find what was leading up to Piers walking off, but I couldn't really find it. It's not anywhere. All you see is a little clip of him walking off. And I looked through several videos, so if anyone's got the full video of... Because this video goes for a while, it goes for 14 minutes. I'm only going to show a little bit, listen to a little bit, but it goes 40 minutes and it cuts off before he walks off. So I'm not too sure what led up to that. They were talking about how Meghan ghosted Piers, and Alex was saying, she's got every right to ghost him, which is fair enough. But still not good form to be ghosting your friends. All right, here we go.
It's fine. It's just the way it was done. We can disagree about that. Let's move on. Well, it's fine. I don't think people really care too much about you and me anymore. It's
not about me and you, and I'm not here because...
Well, let's not talk about me and you then. Let's move on to the second part of their charge of racism. Meghan Markle said that there was a decision taken by the palace to stop Archie being a prince based on his potential skin colour. That is completely untrue.
That's right.
That's just not true. Now,
and I did a video on it, and we'll leave the link up over yonder way. Did a full video on it. I'm not going to go back over it. And it's basically, it's protocol and tradition, and only the grandsons get the titles, not the great-grandsons, and also the line of succession. It's all explained in that video, which we'll put up there, so you can have a watch of that later. And Piers was onto it. I thought I had a bit of an exclusive, but apparently a lot of people are onto this. They've picked out this and how Meghan basically twisted the truth to fit her agenda.
The damaging effect of that, plus whatever may have been said to Harry, and we don't know what it was or the context, and we don't know who said it, but it was those two things have detonated as you know, a racially charged bomb at the palace, which is almost impossible for them to refute because they don't talk in public about this kind of thing. And people aren't probably going to believe them even if they do now. But that's what concerns me, is that the first part of that allegation, we don't know any of the details.
So that was about they've been concerned how dark Archie is going to turn out. And... it's just natural. Like, I'm sure when my mum was pregnant, people asked, I wonder if John's gonna get, my father's dark Bulgarian skin. I'm not white. I get quite dark. If you ever see me in the middle of summer, if I was riding my bike quite a bit, I'm pretty black. I'm pretty dark, man. I'm very, very dark. So I'm sort of got that sort of Arab look to me when I get a full-on tan. So, I've experienced prejudice when I was growing up. Everyone, they call you a wog and that. And before my father died last year, he said the same sort of thing. He goes, "This Black Lives Matter." He goes, "Hey, what do I get? Everyone was calling me a dago when I arrived in Australia. What do I get?" It's like, you know what I mean? So he just poo-pooed that whole Black Lives Matter thing because he thought it was ridiculous. Everyone gets bullied at school. Everyone gets prejudice. It doesn't matter what you are. If it's not your skin colour, it's going to be your weight, your height, your body type, everything. They'll pick on something. That's what kids do. And I'm sure who knows if I've been prejudiced because of the way I look. I don't know. I know I've been stopped by security a lot in airports and that, especially since 9/11. But it doesn't really bother me. I think it's quite funny. It's like, yep, check everything, man. All right, so you can decide. That's your choice. As I said with the Dalai Lama, let's get the Dalai Lama back on. When you think everything is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. When you realize that everything springs only from yourself, you will learn both peace and joy. Because I could react. I could go, why are you pointing me out? Is it because I look Arab? Is that why you're picking on me? I could make a big fuss at the airport and play the victim. But I don't. Because I'm not defined by my skin colour. You can see. I'm not exactly white. I know everyone calls me a white male. I'm not exactly white, man. My dad was from Bulgaria. That's right next to Turkey, which is the gateway to the Middle East. We're right on the border there. Right on the border there. It's Eastern Europe. And so, yeah. All right. So what are we on about next? I was talking about accusations of racism. So yeah. So I've done that full on video talking about this. So I'll play a bit of Piers because Piers goes on about this as well. About and I think personally it's quite natural that they question, how dark Archie was going to turn out. It's just a natural curiosity. As I said, they would have said the same thing about me when my mum was pregnant. wonder if he's going to get your eye, because I got my mum's eyes. My dad's got dark eyes, like sort of black eyes almost. And so my mum's got hazel eyes like mine. And my brother's got dark eyes. Brother's skin's darker than me. I've sort of got more the French sort of skin. So, you know, when you've got that mixed race, people are curious. I don't find it offensive at all. But I think when it comes to like the African American and black race, I think they get overly sensitive because they think that there's going to be like an automatic prejudice because of their skin color. You know, so I think that's where it comes from. So I think that's where it becomes derogatory and that sort of thing. But I don't see it that way. You know, and if people are prejudiced, you just basically be yourself, and they'll come to like you. Doesn't matter. So they'll come to see the real you. Don't worry about your skin colour. All right, here we go.
Said it, or how they said it. And the second one is completely untrue. Meghan just got it wrong.
Yeah,
Archie hasn't been prevented from being a prince because of his skin colour.
That's right.
And that's been now believed by Americans on national television
That's why I
there.
did the video.
And that is damaging.
Yeah. But again, do you know what? It's their lived experience. And
no, it's not true.
That's right. See, this is the argument. It comes out like Alex is going to say lived experience. It's like, well, no, it's not their lived experience. Meghan was ill-informed. Harry should have cleared this up straight away if she thought this. And that's the other thing I was going to talk about. Why the hell did Meghan? She did first like 45 minutes with Oprah on her own. Why didn't they just go in as a couple from the start? It's like Meghan was setting off all these little things. Maybe they had an argument with Harry. It's like, well, I'm not going to be part of this. You know, I'm not going to be part of you putting these accusations. You know, what you're saying is false. So you know, I don't want to be there listening to it. Maybe that happened. I don't know. The whole interview was a bit weird, according to myself.
Look, Piers, it's their lived experience, and again, this is where the confusion comes in. You know, how do you sometimes identify covert racism? It's actually quite hard because it's not there for
But
you
Alex,
in
on
black
that one,
and
it's
white.
not true.
I know,
There's no covert racism.
But Piers, what you're saying is there are facts,
right?
And what Alex is saying is there is an experience and a perception of those facts that you only appreciate when you're in that situation.
No, I'm sorry.
No. What there is there's a what would you call it? Delusional. It's been delusional, thinking something, and I just cannot believe that somebody didn't step in and say, look, Meghan, what, you think that Archie didn't get a title because he's mixed race? No, it's because this is a tradition, and as I said, the video's up there. It's tradition, and when Prince Charles becomes king, if he doesn't abdicate before then, I think he's going to become king before he abdicates, but anyway, you know what I mean. Archie will become prince. Not automatically, and I think they're going to slim down the royal family. He might not become prince. So I don't know what's going to happen now. They're leaving the royal family. He's probably not going to get a title at all. And then Meghan will say, "Told you so." See? It's just a big mess.
On that second part, on the first part, I agree. If it turns out, let me make it crystal clear where I stand on this. If it turns out that a senior member of the royal family, a future king perhaps of this country, we don't know who it is. I don't want to cast... The aspersions are being cast because they won't say. But they have eliminated the Queen and Prince Philip. So they've gone halfway, which I think is incredibly unfair on the ones who are left. But say it is a future king that said this in a derogatory way. We can't have a racist king.
We can't.
So that, to me, would be racism. If it was said derogatory. But the second part of the charge...
And the second part was saying that Archie didn't get a title because he's mixed race, right? Which is totally wrong. And Piers pulls him up on this.
That Archie has been banned from being a prince because of his skin colour is just untrue.
That's right.
It's nothing to do with racism. The fact itself on which he's based that claim is not true.
Except her perception appears to be that it might have been.
Well, it's like me saying the sky's blue outside. My perception is it's raining. You can't muck around with facts.
That's right.
She got the facts wrong on that. It's been demonstrated today in every paper. That fact is simply untrue. There's been no discrimination against Archie in terms of being called a prince because of his skin colour, because he's not entitled at the moment to be called a prince. Just the rules of the palace.
I wish I could show you the video. Alex is searching now. He's like, oh my God, but he doesn't give up. This is the thing, he doesn't give up. and this is what's so annoying about when you're playing a victim. It's like, oh, gee, I can't play victim now. What am I going to do? We'll see what he does now. Watch.
Set 100 years ago.
The trouble is she's explaining her experience.
Exactly, she's explaining her experience of it. And do you know what? We've not walked in her shoes, so I wouldn't...
I don't care what your experience is. If the facts you're basing it on is wrong.
You're still entitled to...
That's right. It doesn't matter. That's what Piers said. It doesn't matter what your experience is. If your facts are wrong, then you're just misinformed. And then she should apologise. She should say to the Queen, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were being racist by not giving Archie a title, but now I understand that there's been a protocol since George V in 1917. That is the correct way to do it." She should be apologising to the Queen. She's saying, oh, the Queen's wonderful and this, and then she's basically saying she's racist. She's not giving Archie a title. Can't have it both ways, Meghan.
To perception,
not about facts or not.
And that's also coming through lived
but Alex,
experience.
on that one, you're not entitled to. I don't care about her feelings.
Okay,
if
but
the
what
fact is wrong.
what concerns me more is the comment about the colour of the baby's skin.
And he agrees with
okay, we all feel passionate about different things.
Yeah.
Okay, we've not even spoken about the mental health and all of that.
Well, we're coming to that.
Well, we'll come to that. But it's really important that we have these conversations, because what I've noticed on Twitter, particularly over the last few days, is that this interview and what's happening with the royal family, the ripple effect is huge.
Huge.
To the point where
It's
me
not
and
a
you are on
ripple,
here, and we
Alex,
feel so
it's a
passionately about it, and it's
tsunami.
great.
I
And
genuinely feel...
And I want to talk about it, and I do feel as though, of course, if we find out who it is, I'm sure, you will be right behind me, and I'll be right behind you, talking about how wrong it is and how,
No question.
no question
exactly.
whatsoever.
What Piers is trying to say is he agrees that if that comment was made, it's racist, right? I tend to sort of sit on the fence a bit there. I understand that it is sensitive to black skin. I've experienced my own prejudice, as I said. So there we go. But the point with Piers is that he's saying that Meghan lies a lot. That's what he's saying. So, and we're going to show you later that he's spot on. She's got caught out. There's a comment in my comment section that pointed out a lot more things that I actually missed, and I'll be showing you that in a minute.
Find is that people are don't always want to accept that it's a possibility that something like this has happened. And this is the thing with racism, right? Racism isn't always caught on camera. Racism isn't always a black man led on the floor with a white police officer's knee in his neck. It comes in all different shapes or forms. What I want to see is the same energy that we had back in the summer right now.
Yes, but OK. But let me just put a little dampener on this, right? One of the two charges of racism, perhaps the most incendiary, that actually he was being discriminated against, because the Queen decides all the titles. Yep. So what she was basically saying is the Queen's a racist who stopped Archie being a prince because of his skin colour. We know that is completely untrue. So
look, I don't know that the Queen's a racist. I would like to think that the Queen is not a racist.
Right.
I don't think she is a racist.
My point is this.
Okay, but he's obviously got a difficult...
The point, see, Piers is right. By saying what Meghan said, she's saying that the Queen's a racist. All right?
Relationship.
No, but Alex,
this is no ordinary family, Piers, because, I know. As we heard from the...
But Alex, do you
yesterday,
accept on that point Meghan just got it wrong?
I got an ad, so I'll just turn this down until the ads come. 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're back again.
Like I said, I am not an expert on royal protocols.
Right.
I am not an expert.
But guess what? Piers obviously is. He knows. He's been around. He's been around forever. He's been around since Fleet Street in the 70s. He knows this stuff.
Those who have all said unanimously.
They've all said, but again, they've said something different. Piers,
no, there's nothing different. This is the protocol that was set by George V. That he basically said there's too many princes around, man. We just got to restrict it to the grandchildren of the reigning monarch. You can't just all be a prince. If you've got every child that gets popped out, they call them a prince and a princess,
I haven't said something different.
I'm happy to listen to both sides.
Well,
Well, they
hang
feel
on,
a certain
hang
way.
on,
They feel
so-
that Archie hasn't been given a title
Exactly, so
because of the colour of his skin.
Prince William...
So that's,
we know that's not true.
Well, hang on a moment. So Prince...
but you don't know
Prince,
that it's not true.
We
because,
do.
Look, think about it.
Can we just talk about this particular fact?
If we think about the possibility that what they're saying is true and that they were worried about how dark Archie would be, it's also a possibility that they might not want him to be a prince. They might not want him to have a title. And the thing is, shock horror, these things happen in life. Unfortunately, this is the way it goes sometimes. Everyone's acting like they're fully surprised. I can't say that I'm fully surprised to hear these allegations. You know, and it is important to, you know, to realise that sometimes, you know what? We don't even know we've got these problems in our family. You might have an all-white family and one day someone of colour walks in.
I would love
and you
that.
find out, I know.
This is funny because, well, we all know that Piers liked Meghan. Meghan's half black, so I don't think Piers is racist because he actually liked Meghan. I think we all established that he had a bit of a thing for Meghan.
Christian Goddard yesterday said to me, wait until one of your sons marries a black woman. I was like, I would love
and
that.
do you know what, Piers? I wouldn't be surprised if one of your sons brought home a woman of colour.
What part of your knowledge of me would think I wouldn't embrace and welcome?
Piers, but the thing is, I'm not saying... That's what I'm saying. We have conversations on the show. We have conversations off the show, OK? And I don't feel that you are a racist. I'm sorry. And if people say to me, Piers Morgan, I will 100% say...
I don't have a racist bone in my body.
But because I'm judging you on my experience of you, and my experience of you is not that.
Right.
Okay.
But that's why I just feel as though the stance that you were taking on it yesterday was so strong.
He's sort of saying, I don't think Piers is racist, but... See, Alex has got it all wrong. Piers is spot on what he said. He's saying... the allegation with the royal family, some conversation was had discussing how dark Archie was going to be, which I think is completely normal anyway. But I understand the connotations and the prejudice that might be carried forward, and they're sort of probably saying, and also the royal family sort of probably thinks, it probably is going to be a bit of prejudice. There's probably a lot of racists in England, so. Maybe they're worried about that as well, so that's a valid point. So, I know it's a sensitive issue, but maybe they can discuss. I think they can just discuss it, like just sort of like it's a curious thing, and it might affect things down the line. There's still a lot of racists in England. All right, so it's heading towards the end now. Yeah, so I
thought that it was slightly clouded by the fact that you've had an experience with her, and actually what this is really about is the fact that you don't like Meghan Markle, and that's okay. You know what? And it's okay that Meghan Markle might not be perfect.
All that did,
it's
and let me
okay
just
that
stress
she
again,
might be a little bit difficult.
I did not know her that well. All it did was inform me that she has a bit of a streak in her where she cuts people out of her life when she moves on. That's fine. She's entitled to do that, but she's done it to her whole family apart from her mum. We've got her dad coming on now. He's been disowned. She's got a track record of it, which I just personally find is informative about her personality.
There we go. So very interesting, but that's where it ended. We didn't get any more. So let's go to... So the whole thing with Piers was that it all started because he called her a liar, saying, I wouldn't believe anything she said. I wouldn't believe her if she gave me a weather report. And I tend to agree, because she keeps on getting caught out. And I'm going to show you another thing. We are going to go to image preview 2. So this was a comment on my comment section in the last video from Sally Ramasar. It says, at Walrus Rider. And it was all half-truths and innuendo in examples. They didn't want to give Archie a title, so we've covered that. So she didn't say the rule is that only when Charles is king that he can have a title. And then, they took my passport. I couldn't go anywhere. But she was in New York for the baby shower. Tennis match to watch her best friend, Serena Williams, on holidays to Ibiza. She didn't say she was taken care of by handlers, and she didn't need to have the passport. She didn't need her driver's permit. She had a driver, because she said, Meghan said, "Oh, they've taken my driver's license, they've taken my passport. You don't need them. You don't need them." No, it gets handled by, the travel arrangements will get handled by someone. You don't need your passport. You don't physically have to have it in your hand. They said they left for privacy, but complained about all the royals in the interview. The thing is, she's a spoiled brat who was never told no. Yeah, maybe that's got something to do with it too, because her dad really doted over it and worked his ass off to get her established in the film industry. Like got little parts for her in TV shows and that apparently, because he was the Emmy. I looked it up. He's an Emmy winning. So that's what's Emmy? Emmy's the was it Emmy winning? Yeah, Grammy's the music. Emmy's the Tony's. The Tony's on stage. The Emmy's the TV. Yeah. So yeah, he used to work on. What's the thing called? Married with Children with Ed Bundy. So yeah, that had Christina Applegate in it. So I loved it. Loved that show. It was quite funny. So yeah, he was working on that. So apparently every day after school she used to go to set, and learn the ropes and everything. So she was quite accustomed around film sets. So here we go. So the thing is, she was spoilt brat that was never told no. She just did what she was accustomed to doing when there is opposition to getting her own way, throw tantrums, and expected that the royals would change the rules for them. I could go on and on and on and pinpoint the nonsense, but that would just be rehashing the full interview. Dearie me. And then another comment she makes is, "My child must be made a prince, or my husband and I will destroy the lot of you." So yeah, I did. That just didn't occur to me when I was watching the interview that was another lie that she had about taking the passport away. She's just picks little things and turns it into a big thing. And people like that are very hard to live with. Sooner or later, Harry will piss her off somehow. And Meghan will just go, "Whoa." But yeah, she's got too much to lose now. She's got a meal ticket now. She's set for life. So I don't see that happening. She's probably a little bit nicer to Harry. But everyone around her, you can see why she would be difficult with everyone around her, because you can't live with someone like that. You can't. It's just. There's just take. There's no give back. There's no. It's very hard to describe Meghan. She's. How would you describe her? Just the things that, all those little signs. Yeah, if people say she's a narcissist, I guess so. There's more to it than that, though. She just does not. She's got no. She seems to talk about compassion a lot, but she's got no empathy. She can't put herself in other people's shoes. Everything's her way of thinking. She can't broaden her way of thinking, like. When they left England, they can't sort of think, hang on a minute, that's going to put William and Kate and all the other members of the royal family in strife, because now they've got extra work to do. All the patronages and that are going to be shared around. She can't see that. There's no sort of guilt. It's just like, okay, I'll find a way that I'm right, and then I'll go on that line. You know what I mean? So this is what annoys me about Meghan. We need to call it out. She needs some help, man. She really does need some help. And on that subject, when I was talking about the mental health thing, it's like I find that really hard to believe that she couldn't get any help. I really find that hard to believe, because Harry went through mental health problems. He got help. So why would they not give Meghan help? And Harry sort of backed it up. So I don't know what's going on there, because Harry backed it up and said that was one of the reasons why they left. So I don't know whether Harry got coerced into saying that. I don't know whether Meghan's making Harry lie now. I don't know what's going on. So we're going to need to find out these things. So we'll keep digging. The truth will come out eventually, and then we'll know everything. But yeah. All right, so let's leave it there. It's been going on for too long. It's almost a 30-minute video here. So you know the drill. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.